What if the most ordinary coin in your pocket, the one you never look twice at, was quietly carrying a story that still moves collectors today? Hold it. Feel the weight. That thin copper-plated disc from 2018, the one with Lincoln's profile staring into the distance and a bold shield on the back. Most people spend it without a second thought, but some stop. They turn it under the light, and they start to wonder, is this just another penny? Or is there something more? In 2018, the United States Mint produced billions of these cents. Over 3.7 billion came from the Denver facility alone. That little D under the date marks its birthplace, a place where machines thundered day and night, stamping out the smallest piece of American money still in daily use. This is the modern Lincoln cent, the design we have known since 2010. On the front, Abraham Lincoln faces right, steady and solemn, the same portrait that first appeared more than a century ago. In God we trust, arcs above him. Liberty stands to the left. The year and the mint mark sit quietly to the right. On the reverse, a Union shield rises with 13 vertical stripes. A banner across it declares 1 cent. Above the shield, the words "A pluribus unum" remind us that many became one. Most people never notice the tiny initials. LB for Lyndall Bass, JFM for Joseph Menna, the artist who gave this common coin its current face. Their marks hide in plain sight. Small signatures on a piece of metal that will travel through millions of hands. Yet the real story is not only in the design, it is in the condition. Nearly every 2018 D cent you find in change is worth exactly 1 cent. Circulated, worn, browned by time and touch. But pull an uncirculated example from a fresh roll or an old mint set, and the conversation changes. Full red color, sharp details, no marks from years of commerce. Suddenly, collectors lean closer. In the highest grades, the numbers become surprising. An ordinary-looking 2018 D cent graded MS68 red can bring hundreds of dollars. One exceptional MS69 red example once sold for nearly $6,000. That is not fantasy. That is a documented auction result. The same coin you might have spent on a pack of gum could, in perfect condition, become a serious prize. Why does condition matter so much? Because the zinc core under that thin copper plating does not age gracefully. Moisture, oils from skin, and time turn bright red surfaces into brown. True red survivors in the highest grades are far scarcer than the mintage numbers suggest. Collectors chase that original color the way some people chase first editions of books. It is the difference between a coin that lived and a coin that was carefully protected. Mint marks tell another quiet chapter. No mark means Philadelphia. A D means Denver. An S appears only on special proof coins never meant for pockets. The 2018-D is common, yes, but common does not mean worthless to the right eyes. Registry set collectors need the finest examples. They compete for the highest graded pieces. They pay premiums for coins that look as if they just left the press. Look closer still. Most 2018 cents show no major errors. The mint's quality control is excellent, yet small things appear. Minor die cracks. Slight doubling in the lettering that only magnification reveals. Off-center strikes that somehow escaped. These are not million-dollar mistakes. They are the little irregularities that make a common coin feel personal. Collectors hunt them the way beachcombers hunt unusual shells. Imagine the year 2018. The machines in Denver running at full speed, planchets moving, dies slamming down with enormous force, each strike creating another tiny piece of history. Lincoln's face repeated millions of times. The shield repeated millions of times. Then those coins poured into bags, into trucks, into banks, into cash registers, into the hands of people who never knew the journey. Some of those coins stayed pristine. They sat in drawers. They waited in coin jars. They rested inside mint packaging. Years later, a collector opens a roll and finds one that still glows with original red. In that moment, the ordinary becomes special. That is the quiet power of coin collecting. It is not only about money, it is about connection, about holding a small object that passed through the same year you lived, about the human urge to preserve something perfect in a world that constantly wears things down. Condition is everything. A heavily worn 2018 D is still 1 cent. A brilliantly preserved one can be worth many times more. Grading services like PCGS and NGC examine every mark, every speck of color, every detail under magnification. They assign numbers that collectors trust. MS65, MS67, MS69. Each step higher becomes dramatically harder to achieve, and the price follows. Yet even without a high grade, the coin carries weight. It is a historical coin. It is a piece of modern American money. It is a reminder that even the smallest denomination still carries the face of a president who held a nation together. So the next time a 2018 penny lands in your palm, pause, look at Lincoln's profile, study the shield, check for that tiny D. Ask yourself what story this particular piece of metal has already lived. Where has it been? Whose hands has it touched? And what condition has it kept? Because somewhere out there in someone's collection sits a 2018 D cent that once looked exactly like the one you hold, only that one stayed perfect. And that perfection turned a 1 cent coin into something collectors still talk about. What about the ones still in circulation? How many perfect red survivors are still waiting in jars and drawers and forgotten pockets? Have you ever found a 2018 penny that stopped you in your tracks? Tell me in the comments. I want to know what you saw when you looked closer. And if this story made you look at your change a little differently, hit subscribe. There are more quiet legends waiting in the coins we spend every day. The next one might already be in your pocket.